Konnichiwa! In this video, we are going to go over yet another selection tool. This time we're going to be using the Magnetic Lasso Tool. With this tool, we'll start off with our uh, example here, this cherry. I'm just going to click along the edge right here. And this tool, it's trying to detect your edge. So I wouldn't necessarily use this tool for this type of image. Simply because there's other tools that are better suited. But you can see how I'm not clicking. I'm just moving my cursor around the edge. If you mess up and go somewhere right here, you could always press backspace on your keyboard. You could always manually click to add a point. So I'm gonna right here, for example. Oh, I just added one. I'm just writing, moving up along the stem of this cherry. And if I want to, I could zoom in. You can see how I missed some areas. I'm going to backspace. I want to maybe say, I want this area right here. I want this one. If I want to really get in there and get some of these points. Yeah, but no one's going to necessarily zoom in this much, or for this example, at least. You can see as I go over, it's not necessarily, it's missing some of these things. Up on top in the options bar, there are the different settings. Frequency is how often it's detecting. You can see up on top. There's other options. You can see as I go around, I can't change those options right now because if I try to do so, whenever students do something like this, that's because you're still using the tool. I'm going to press backspace. If I was to press escape, that will allow me to exit out of this tool. I'm gonna zoom out. You can see how it's able to select. I'm gonna click, and I'm back over here. And now I have my selection. Now I'm not going to use a selection in mask, but we are able to use that tool. I'm going to go to my Photoshop image of the week and say, for example, let's zoom in. Let's try to focus on a background dancer. And here, maybe I'll try to go around this dancer. I haven't tried this. I'm going to start off right here. And you can see how I'm going to click right here. Oh, you know what I should do? I'm going to press escape. Let me decrease the frequency just so you can see. Let's go about 10. Just so you can see. I'm going to click right here. So it's not even adding my frequency. Here, I'm going to escape. What happens if I increase the frequency all the way to 100%? Look at that. It's adding a lot more points. So in this case, the higher the frequency, the more times it's evaluated. I'm going to zoom in. And this image, you could see it's low res. I start to zoom in and I see pixels. I'm at 300%. I'm going to zoom out. I'm just letting Photoshop. Ooh, right there, it did a bad job. I'm going to backspace. Click. Backspace. So I'm letting this tool, for the most part, take the wheel. But there's other instances where it's like, okay, right here, I want to go ahead and just manually add my points. I don't like some of the points right here. It's not getting all the information that I want it to. I remember this tool, just like the other tools, it's looking at the contrast within your image. If there's low contrast, uh, it might not necessarily detect the edge to your satisfaction. And I can see right here, it's going to be challenging simply because both of these costumes are going into one another. But once we're done, we just have another selection. And we could always go into, I'm going to duplicate this image. I'm going to hide the original one. I can always go into selection and mask. I could go into the overlay so I could see what it's going to give me. Now I'm not going to spend too much time on cleaning up this image. I'm just going to go over it really quickly to see what it gives me. I'm just going on the refine edge to see how it looks. And always remember that your mileage may vary. So it might not necessarily work really well for this specific image, but it doesn't mean that it's going to give you the same results on your own image. So right here I'm just cleaning up some of these areas, bringing back some of these pixels. So with relatively minimal work, I was able to get a pretty decent selection here. So we could always go to black and white and you could see certain areas, but if I go back to on black, so this is pretty good. Alright, so we have something like this. I'm going to tell it OK, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this as a layer mask. And I could see the areas that are kind of disappearing. I can go back to black and white. I could clean this up. I'm just going to manually clean this up right here. I want to just clean up some of these areas, especially around the head. Let's see, on black. So I could be happy with that. Tell it OK. So I bring back this one. I select my image, switch to the move tool. I can now move it to the side and check it out. I'm going to zoom out. I'd say not bad for just a couple of minutes of work. Remember, once you already have this, it's like I just want the finished results. I could right mouse click over the layer mask. I'm going to tell it to apply layer mask. And now all that I have is the resulting image. I'm going to scale this up. Since I have my move tool, I have show transform controls turned on. I could make this one a little bit larger so that maybe I want her to be as tall as this dancer. So they're lined up. Or here, maybe see if I put her right here, I'm gonna make her as tall as this dancer. That's up in front. She's now, in fact, I'm gonna make her even taller. And what about, she's really up close. Having some fun here. All right. So this was using the Magnetic Lasso Tool. These are all great selection tools. In the next video, I'm going to show you a bonus video. If you use the stylus, if you have a tablet, how you could paint your own selections. So I'll see you in that next video.